In 2020, wildfires set records from California to Siberia. The Atlantic spawned more hurricanes than ever recorded. 2020 will be the hottest or second hottest year on record. As the planet's fever rose, the world came down with COVID-19. The coronavirus pandemic emptied streets and grounded air travel. That lowered planet-warming carbon emissions by a record 7%. But that's nothing to celebrate, says World Resources Institute Director Dan Lashoff.
Clearly, the emission reductions that we've seen in 2020 due to COVID are not the right way to reduce emissions. No question about that. And most of them are potentially quickly reversible as the economy recovers.
Fundamental changes are needed around the world, he says. Some countries stepped up this year, says Columbia University law professor Michael Girard.
The single most important climate policy event of the last year was probably President Xi of China announcing China's goal of getting to net zero emissions by 2060. Several of the countries in Europe also increased their climate ambitions. So much of the rest of the world is moving in this direction.
And I have to say,
the United States, under President Donald Trump, has been moving in the opposite direction, he says, loosening environmental regulations and boosting fossil fuel production. But Joe Biden's victory over Trump in November marks a new direction, he says.
There's no question that President-elect Biden is going to do a 180 from what President Trump has done.
Biden has made fighting climate change a top priority. A divided Congress may limit how far he can go to rein in emissions, though. States may go further, like California's governor did this year, ordering an end to gas-powered car sales by 2035. Banks and investors cooled on fossil fuels this year, too. Major banks said they will not invest in Arctic oil and gas projects. And the U.S. Federal Reserve called for climate action for the first time, Lashoff notes.
The idea that climate change poses a serious threat to the U.S. financial system has totally gone mainstream, and 2020 was really the year that took hold.
2020 marks the 5-year anniversary of the UN Paris Agreement to fight climate change. But the world is nowhere near the goals that leaders set to stop dangerous global warming, says UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres.
But the commitments made in Paris were far from enough to get there, and even those commitments are not being met.
The world's fever kept rising in 2020, and scientists say time is running out to bring it down. Steve Baragona, VOA News.